All right, today we're jumping into a modern fable that's all about expertise, the real art of teaching, and a problem so massive it is, quite literally, cosmic.
And that's really the heart of it, isn't it? It's a hilarious question, for sure, but it sets up this surprisingly deep lesson on what it actually means to be a real mentor.
So, our story kicks off with Lord Shiva. You know, the cosmic dancer whose every move keeps the whole universe in rhythm. One day, he's watching kids on Earth trying to dance, and they're kind of stumbling around. So he gets this really sweet idea. I'll go down there and open a dance school myself.
But his wise wife, Parvati, she chimes in with a little reality check. She knows that Shiva's dancing isn't just for show. It's the very force that creates and destroys worlds. We're not talking about a simple hobby here. This is the engine of the entire cosmos.
Shiva, though, he's just bursting with that classic, what could possibly go wrong energy. He just brushes off her concern, totally confident that he can just, tone it down a bit. And right there, that's where the trouble really starts brewing.
And here come the students. We've got Mira, who just loves to spin, Raj, who's a little too shy to let loose, and the twins, Anu and Manu, who can't seem to stop bumping into each other. They're just a bunch of sweet kids, totally clueless about the universal chaos they're about to step into.
And so, the first lesson begins. Shiva's got the best intentions, but the enormous gap between his god-level expertise and what these beginners actually need is about to become, well, dangerously and hilariously obvious.
So Shiva tries to start simple. A gentle foot lift? Bam! Earthquake. A simple wave of the arm? Suddenly all the flowers are stuck in a time loop, blooming and unblooming over and over. And a tiny little spin? Oh, that just makes the planets wobble in their orbits and flip day and night randomly. To top it all off, he takes one tiny step back and accidentally rips open a time rift, letting a T-Rex stomp into the studio. Yeah, dancing smaller is not going well.
This chart just perfectly captures the epic mismatch. To Shiva, a simple spin is nothing. But to the fabric of reality, it's a disaster that makes the kids age and de-age in seconds. He's not just teaching dance moves, he's wrestling with the fundamental forces of the universe. It's the ultimate example of an expert being completely unable to scale down for their students.
Okay, so Parvati steps in, the dinosaurs are sent back home, and it's time for an emergency family meeting. Shiva, Parvati, and their super wise son Ganesha all sit down to figure out, okay, what just happened?
And this is where Shiva asks the million-dollar question. His entire being is dance, but that very essence is way too powerful to demonstrate safely. It's a real paradox, one that a lot of masters face. How do you share something that's become as natural to you as breathing?
And Ganesha, who is just brilliant, he puts a name to it. He calls it the expert's dilemma. It's that thing that happens when you're so good at something, you completely forget all the tiny basic steps you took to get there. Your own incredible skill actually becomes a barrier to teaching someone else.
But Ganesha doesn't just name the problem, he's got a solution. And it is a fantastic, totally out-of-the-box idea that will let Shiva pass on everything he knows without, breaking reality.
And the entire solution really boils down to this one number, 12. Now, what in the universe could that possibly represent? It's the number of tiny, 6-inch tall avatars of himself that Shiva creates. He calls them the Mini-Shivas. They have all his knowledge, all his passion for dance, but absolutely none of his universe-shattering power. They're the perfect go-betweens. And this shows just how well it worked. The Mini-Shivas could give each kid exactly what they needed. For Mira, who got dizzy, they taught her how to spot a single point. For shy Raj, they gave him the confidence boost he needed. And for the twins, they turned coordination into a fun conversation. This is what it looks like to teach at the student's level.
With these amazing tiny teachers, the students just blossom, and before you know it, it's time for the big recital, which leads us right to the real moral of this whole tale.
So Shiva is watching from the sidelines, standing very, very still, of course, and he's just completely overwhelmed with joy. He realizes that watching his students shine, using the gifts he gave them, feels even better than his own cosmic performance ever did.
So what's the big takeaway here? It's that true mastery isn't just about being the best. It's about figuring out how to translate your knowledge for people who are just starting out. Mentorship is about finding those creative ways to empower others. And honestly, that can be the most fulfilling thing in the world.
And that kind of leaves us with a final thought, doesn't it? Whether you're teaching someone a new skill, trying to explain a complex idea, or even just giving some advice, when have you had to face your own expert's dilemma?
When have you had to find your own version of the Mini-Shivas to truly share what you know?